when I reflected back on the things that I was spending my time and thoughts on when I was not working or when I was working was all about gathering people. Like I hosted a founder's dinner. I have hosted other dinners and events. Like my brain always gravitates towards like, how can I bring people together in a really intentional and meaningful way? And then I had this moment. I was like, he was like, look at this pattern. Like you're always doing this and like you're really good at it. And you think differently than other people do about this. I think people would pay you to like do this for them or with them. Yeah. And I was like, what?
The Killer Growth Podcast starts now.
What's up, guys? Sam McVeigh here with the Killer Growth Podcast, and today I have Alyssa McGinn, founder of Behind Closed Doors. You are not behind a closed door.
Well, kind of moment. Not. Yeah,
you came out.
I came out. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out from behind the closed door.
We'll leave that right there. So I know some of your story. I feel like not most of it. But your story, we can start with data. We can start with before data. What got you into data? Influency.
Yeah.
That's all I really know about you. Influency with your mom, and you left.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's recent.
What else do I need to know?
So I grew up in Texas. I came to Mizzou, to the Midwest to study journalism because I thought that I was going to be an NFL reporter. That was like my dream, was to be like Erin Andrews. I loved NFL, and so I studied journalism. I actually graduated with that degree. And lo and behold, when I graduated, I decided to not do that and to move to India. So I don't know if you knew that about me. I lived in India for 5 years, where I met my husband, and he's from Kansas. And so that was kind of just a wild story, and more detail on that later. But when we moved back in 2020 in COVID, we were just like, I guess Kansas makes sense. Let's do that. Yeah. He's from outside Wichita. And I always knew like business and corporate was like my jam, but I didn't exactly know like what that would look like. But I knew I needed some reps. Like I knew I needed to like get in a business and just like figure some things out. And so my mom had a business she started back in 2006. So it's 20 years this year. Uh-huh. She kind of became an entrepreneur on accident. She just started meeting a need for a client on the side after we were kind of grown up. I guess we were middle school. And it kind of just like kept growing. And still to this day, that's a active company I'm still kind of a part of. And, we service middle market clients, helping them with data and analytics. And so I got to get in there. Like that was my MBA basically, was like, okay, how do we grow scale? Like how do I learn how to sell and market? Like I had general like school knowledge of those things, but not like practice. And so I say that like I learned more about business in the past 6 years than like any MBA or any kind of like formal education could ever teach me. Like, that, like you just got to get in there. Sure. You got to learn, you got to figure it out. And we learned way more things that didn't work than what did. And that was also frustrating. But I just, over the past probably year, I just started to realize like my time doing that had kind of run its course, and I had learned what I felt like I needed to learn in that season. And I was ready to really align more with who I am, and at least in terms of like products and services, like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to serve the world. And so that was kind of the formation of Behind Closed Doors, kind of came out of that. But so thankful for my time with Influency, and still am, playing a small role in that company. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm here today.
So your mom was an entrepreneur. You were in middle school. Like how old were you when she officially was like,
Let's see.
This is a company?
So 2006, I would have been 12.
Okay.
If I did the math correctly. So I remember being like around middle school and her starting just like, she worked from home, like did kind of like Skype calls before that was like,
oh wow,
doing virtual calls. And so her team, she worked for a venture capital firm. They were like all over the US. And so, yeah, I really remember like those people, the partners of that firm, like became household names like in our family. Like, oh, it's, you know, XYZ. And so I just remember being like, oh, that's interesting. But I felt very much that I was like, still, I didn't want to say at that point, like, I'm going to join my mom's business. Like, I was like, I'm going to chart my own path.
Got to go figure out life.
But yeah.
Let's go to India for 5 years.
Right. That was not part of my bingo card, but you're surprised.
Yeah. In India, what'd you learn there? You guys did missions, I'm assuming. Was it a church? Was it?
We did church planning, house churches, actually.
Okay.
I learned so much about community and relationships and hospitality. We also had a business, which was kind of like where I even solidified further, like I want to do the business side of this. We
What
did
was that?
import-export.
Okay.
So we helped people source and find manufacturers in India and just kind of bridge that cultural gap that like a lot of people didn't do that because it was just such a miss, like communicating and stuff. So I loved both sides, but really I think full circle, I look at what I'm doing now with behind closed doors, like so many of the lessons I learned, like was stepping into like, they're so hospitable. Like you meet them one time, like come to my house for dinner. And it's like, you can be friends with someone here and like, you never go to their house for dinner.
Right.
You don't even get invited. You're just like, you know, and, I just learned so much from them and also just the way that they live in community and how family is structured is just very different. And I don't think it's like right or wrong. It's just different.
Yeah. I think it's good to look at other cultures and say they're better at this than us and we're better at this than them. I think there's a lot to take away from that. Like, that's a really funny point. I'm like imagining that situation in my head a few times with random people that I like just meet. And I'm like, that'd be so awkward.
Yeah. Would you ask someone, like if you just met like at the store, like come to my house for dinner?
I would if there was like a strong mutual connection.
Yeah.
Like if I'd already known of that person and they knew of me, I was literally thinking in my head.
Straight up stranger.
No, a stranger, no way. No,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, let's get coffee tomorrow, or let's meet in a public place.
You wanted
and
to take
see
like
how,
a step.
Yeah, I'm gonna vet you out a little bit before I bring you into my home.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, we met college students and like young professionals a lot, and we would just like the first time, like they would invite us to their house, and you would stay for hours, and you would be catered to hand and foot. Like they have this saying in India that's it basically means like the guest is sacred, or like the guest is like God, meaning like.
Interesting.
It is a sacred thing to have someone come into your home and like your whole life and your whole family rearranges to make that person comfortable and feel welcome. I don't think we do that here. Like our version of hospitality in America is like, my house is your house. Like make yourself at home. Like you come into my space and like get some water, go to the bathroom, like do what you want. That's a very different version of like, they would go to the bathroom with you if that was like acceptable. Like they want to be like there with you. They watch you eat. Like it is. So, and again, no version of hospitality either way is bad or right. It's just different. Yeah. So now I think about that because like foreign, and not to get off on this tangent, but like foreigners that come to America to study, statistically like 80, I think it's even higher, like 90% of them never go into an American's home. And it's like, we talk about like, whether you're welcoming from like a faith perspective or just from like a, hey, you're in our country, like we want you to feel belonging. But it's like they never step foot in Americans or have an American friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think back to college on that same line of questioning, I think I would 100% do that in college, right? I mean, you make a friend and you go to their apartment or to your apartment like the same day, right? Like,
yeah,
I think the older I get and the crankier and like more secluded I get, it has changed, and then you have kids and.
Well, suddenly you become an adult and you're like, no, shut the doors.
Right.
Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Or you start just like having it's not as natural just to like, you're not in a season of new friendships.
Right.
But then everyone's lonely. Like there's a pandemic of loneliness. And
for sure.
I think that's connected. So I try to practice like, I don't invite every stranger I meet to my house, but I try to practice like inviting people into my home as much as I can, even if I'm like, this is going to be weird or awkward or I don't know what to do with this. because I think there's something beautiful that happens at a table eating together behind closed doors. Exactly.
Full circle. I love it. So take me through that process. You love networking. You've created multiple networking events. Talk about that a little bit, because that's kind of when I met you. You're big into that. You invited me to one of them you put together. I don't know how many you've been a part of.
So I've started two here in Wichita.
Okay.
They're very different flavors. The first one, and both were born out of just a need. Like any way a business starts, you're like, this isn't happening. Why is this not happening? And the way that first one happened is called Wichita Professional Advisors. It's a networking group for B2B service providers. And I was in InfoFluency. I was doing a lot of business development networking. And I was like, there's no places where I feel like other people are selling to the same type of client that I want.
Right.
And they understood like what my services even were. And so there's groups in town that cater more towards like B2C people. And I just was like, I would go to those and felt like I was speaking a different language. And so I started just like asking some of my friends who I knew sold B2B and was like, where do you go? Like, how do you network? And I actually kind of hate the term networking. So just also going to throw that out there.
Thank you.
It sucks. Like which is also kind of the precipice of behind closed doors. But I think most of the way we do it is like, even if you're an extrovert, it's painful.
Yeah.
And so WPA was born 2.5 years ago out of that idea that like B2B service providers need a place where they have friendship. And also like there's an extended part of their sales team looking out for them, like as they're going out into the community and to their clients. So we're at 2 chapters now of that group, and it's so fun. And everyone that comes to visit's like, oh, this is like different. Mm-hmm. And so I love that. I've actually passed off the leadership of that to some other guys. And because I like starting things, I don't like running things. So that's also another thing I learned. And then the other one was for the M&A community, which is mergers and acquisitions, which is also a space that InfoFluency played in exclusively, which means like, the private equities and investment bankers and lawyers of the world. There was no place for that community to come together. So in other major markets, they would have things like ACG, which is like Association of Capital Growth, or other kind of like national chapters of things. And I was like, Wichita was deemed too small.
Oh, really?
So like we just never got any of those things. And so I put my head together and we were like, let's just put a happy hour and see like who's interested. We got like 60 people to the first happy hour. And we're like, okay. This was also about 2 years ago. And we've been meeting quarterly with that group and pretty consistently get close to like 100 people.
It was full. I went to my first one and left before it started. And it was great.
Was that the last one? Yeah.
I felt so bad. I really thought softball was going to get rained out. I had to coach softball, and I had to go all the way home to get all the way back to Newton. It was a mess. I was like, please cancel. And they didn't cancel. The rain didn't hit Newton hard enough. But yeah, so I basically hung out with everybody, and like 5 minutes before it's starting, I start walking out, and several people like Connor and Wayman, like, what are you doing, McVeigh? I'm like, bye. Sorry.
Okay, well, you can come to the full one next time.
I'm excited to go to the full one. It was fun. I exchanged cards, made a couple LinkedIn introductions from being there 10 minutes. It was great.
And I think too, like, people are going to traditionally network at these kinds of things, but my heart is that we build relationships and we view those things as opportunities for collaboration.
Yeah.
Like, I think speaking candidly, like, I feel like this city has historically prioritized competition over collaboration. And my goal is to create spaces where people can collaborate. And that takes so many different forms. But the M&A process, as you know, like, you've bought and sold businesses, like, no matter if it's Main Street or huge corporate, like, it's a very collaborative experience. Like, you need lawyers, you need attorney or CPAs, you need all kinds of different people, and it's a team sport. So I'm like, if there's a team sport, why aren't we team practicing? Like, why aren't we getting together? So
yeah. So I mean, what's the ideal outcome for someone being a part of that group in particular?
Deal makers.
Yeah.
To find referral partners, and then to find opportunities.
To maybe potentially build your team for acquiring or selling a business.
Yeah. And then also for service providers to find other people that are, working with people they want to work with.
Yeah.
So I just think that so many people go to networking events to find clients. I just like, that's not the right approach. You're not going to find your client just like sitting at a lunch or something. You're going to find other people who serve your client.
You're going to find referral partners. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's even more valuable because those people are going to bring you into like lots of opportunities versus like a one hit client.
Yeah.
So that's my goal for those people is to find referral partnerships, but also just like the opportunities. Like you can talk to Connor and it's like from coming to these, like they have this whole idea of this new like program and these new things they're going to do. And just like, how do we pull these people together to make this possible for people to buy companies? And how do we make capital more accessible? And, oh wait, this person wants to fund this type of deal and this guy wants to buy this kind of company. Let's put them together. They didn't even know each other existed or wanted to do that. And a lot of people talk about buying and selling really, it has an idea of being really private.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Like if they want to leave their job.
Side, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because like I get it. Like you're selling your company, you feel like that needs to be like under wraps for like your employees. And I'm like, I get that. And buying too, it's like, well, I don't want to tell my employer that I want to leave my job and go buy a company.
Right.
And so it's all very private, Wichita especially private. And so I think there's some things that like I want to pull the curtain back on and just like let people have a space where they can freely explore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So take me into behind closed doors, done these networking events. What was the moment where you were like, Influency, this is not my passion? Because that's what last time we chatted, it sounded more like it was not a, like, I hate this or a problem. It's just, this is just not my passion. Ultimately, I see another direction for my heart.
Yeah. I think it's a huge privilege to get to like the space to go like follow your passion. And I think that's kind of an overused term, but I was like, for me, I really felt like I could serve the world with my passions. And so I was like, so I think to answer your question, like what the moment, the problem was I got a coach last year and you know, that's like therapy on steroids.
Right.
And through that process, it was a lot of inner work and a lot of inner like reflection, and I won't get too woo woo on you. But I just like, when I reflected back on the things that I was spending my time and thoughts on when I was not working or when I was working was all about gathering people. Like I hosted a founders dinner. I have hosted other dinners and events. Like my brain always gravitates towards like, how can I bring people together in a really intentional and meaningful way? And then I had this moment, he was like, look at this pattern. Like you're always doing this and like, you're really good at it and you think differently than other people do about this. I think people would pay you to like do this for them or with them. Yeah. And I was like, what? Anyway, I had like a huge moment. I took like a week to like think about that. And from there, like the ideas just kind of kept unraveling. And then that coach was like, this is the name it came from. It was like, do you believe that like the best opportunities in life come from behind closed doors? And I was like, yes.
There you go.
And I was like, and that phrase just like marinated in my brain. So yeah, I think that Influency has a really special place in my heart, but I was just ready to like take a leap into something that felt truly aligned where I could come on a podcast and not have to prepare or think. Like it's just so in me. Yeah. And I just wanted that ease. And I also just think that it's an easier path to make money and to serve people when it's like coming from a place of like authenticity.
Yeah, for sure. So break it down. First of all, I love names that are phrases. I remember when we bought our first business, which was a carpet cleaning van. It was called Carpet Care Plus. Then we changed it to Good to Be Clean. And it was mostly negative feedback on our name. And then like over time, it was like, oh, this makes sense. You know, you get out of the shower and you're like, oh, it's good to be clean, right?
Yeah.
I like phrases.
Yeah.
So kudos on that. So break down the business model. And we started talking about this a little bit. And then I have an exercise I think we should do.
Okay.
For an event idea I have that I do not have the capacity, nor would I ever execute it. We've been talking about it for probably a while. And I'm like, it's never going to get done.
Yeah.
And I probably need to understand why I'm doing it. Like, how could it get done?
Yeah.
So we should just like,
let's just do it. Brainstorm.
one. Let's do that. But first off, just talk to me about what type of people are you helping today?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just building out concepts, packages? Like, here's the service. Are you trying to build out a all around outcome? Like for certain niche where if I build this event for you, this is the outcome you'll get.
Yeah. So as you know, like I've probably gone in every direction possible, and I feel like I've landed on a few concrete things. One is that like I have a certain types of people that I really love to work with, and I want to really like hone in on that. So when you say like types of people right now that I'm working with, they fall into 3 buckets: creative entrepreneurs. And I say creative because with this kind of work, like you need to kind of be able to like think outside the box, and you need to be able to like be okay with non-traditional marketing strategies.
Yeah.
And then 2 is deal makers. Like I still love that world. I still am very much in that world. And I think that it's very sleepy in terms of the ways that they gather. It's like, this is not offensive. It's just like, we still go to golf courses and it's still very one-on-one, and it's still very like how it's always been. And that's the same with their like internal processes for client acquisition and for getting deals done. And then the 3rd bucket is people with audiences. So I think there's just a macro movement towards in real life. You see that everywhere is like, let's get people together. And I think that a lot of people that have podcasts or blogs or Substack or any kind of like a virtual following are starting to wake up to this idea that, oh, I have this huge asset of these people, and whether they're my guests or my listeners or my clients or my community, what if we could get them together in person? Like that's next level because they get to meet each other. So those are kind of the 3 buckets. And that's just like what I like too. So it like just vibes better. And then my business model, it's not necessarily that I'm prescribing an outcome, but it is that I'm designing towards an outcome for them, but that outcome is custom.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, what is your primary goal? And it's really hard to get people to get to one thing. But I push really hard to like, I have a framework that's like, there's only really 5 buckets of types of events that you can throw. We have to decide on a primary. Like, you can't say 3 things. You have to choose a primary. And then maybe we could go with a secondary, but that's it. And you have to have one outcome that you want, because we can't design around multiple outcomes. We can design around one outcome, and we can be really thankful for the other ones that happen that happen. But like where there's diluted focus, there's going to be diluted outcomes. So there's 3 parts of the business model. One is I plan the event for you, but I don't come. The second is I plan and come. So it's kind of like planning and design, and then hosting as a service. It's like I'm there with you. And then the 3rd is partnership. So there's a few types of firms that have a pretty large goal, and they need like an arc of events that happens over the course of a year, or they want to just like outsource like that full in real life strategy piece to me.
That makes sense.
So that's how the business model works right now, but don't hold me to that's how it's always going to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those. So, I mean, like a larger company like Coke, that's like, we want to execute this many things throughout the year.
Right.
They outsource it would be an example.
Yeah.
Of that one. The other 2 make sense. The 3rd one, I'm trying to think of the type of company, what that would look like.
So I'll give you an example on the 3rd. So like a PE firm or a venture capital firm that's fundraising, that typically takes the better part of 9 to 12 months. And there's lots of touch points that happen in that. And there's sometimes like, they all do every year like a summit where they bring all their current investors and then like potential and portfolio operators. So there's like, hey, we go to conferences. We want to do some activations within those conferences. We want to have a few happy hours. We're going to have our summit. And this is all like in the leveling up to the fundraise. So that would be an example where it's like, we're not going to raise our fund with one dinner.
Right.
But we do need to like orchestrate maybe 8 to 10 events. And so that's an example.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different. I like that it's niche down from just event planning. Like you're not just like an event planning company. and that's why I keep talking about the outcome. You're doing this to represent a certain niche, which is business owners, correct?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, what is the best outcome you've seen from a successful event?
New business, new customers, and like I've seen new businesses get formed like from events I've hosted.
Just because of networking and people.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's strategy. Like I look back and I'm like, I knew I should have put those people together. Like they hit it off so well. And I hear those stories kind of on the back end. Money, like a lot of times there's one where they ended up on the back end of the event selling around $200,000 worth of services. So I love money. Like I love when I don't love money. I do love money.
Got it.
But
Clip it.
Like
clip it right there. Clip it.
I love when there's money involved because there's so much human behavior around the design.
Right.
Like how do you get people to be bought in? And there's 3 types of money events. There's charity, there's investing, and then there's purchasing. And so it's like there's different strategies if you want people to like if you're hosting a nonprofit gala versus like you want someone to, invest in your fund versus like I want to buy marketing services, right?
Are you going to touch the charity side?
I don't know. I think that it would have to be the right partner.
Yeah.
I'm open to it because I think that there's a lot of amazing underfunded charities and nonprofits that could really use like a more strategic approach. But yeah, with the right, a group with the right mindset, I would love to.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of that and a lot of those done poorly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've been to so many fundraisers where I'm like, oh, that could have been done better.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of obvious, but.
And they follow the same blueprint as everyone else. And that's part of the problem is like, I just think that's for-profit world too, right? Like there's just a lack of customization around like.
For sure.
Well, what are we trying to do? And like, who are our stakeholders and like, what are they like? And there's some persona work around that. And like, so it's like lack of clarity and then also just like lack of like taking this as like we've always done it this way versus like let's plan around like it's just intentionality, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah,
did I answer that first question?
No, it was great. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's interesting. I mean, it makes total sense. And I think over time it'll get refined, right? Like as you get a few deals done, you're going to be able to have concepts to like then say, Sam, I did this deal for this company. I think it's a great fit for you, right?
Yeah.
From the networking side, like it's going to be hard for you to probably identify your ideal client until enough of those reps are in and you figure out like, which one's going to have an outcome that you think this company would pay for services for that outcome to happen.
Totally.
And you never know what it's going to be, right? Like who knows what niche you're going to land on. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And because I feel like right now it's just a lot of like custom brainstorming.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Where I'm just like, tell me about what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I have an idea.
Right.
Let's go through it. So we can do that if you want.
Do
you want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. I still don't even know. So it's going to be really painful and embarrassing probably because I don't even know what it is.
We can work through it.
But yeah, right. I think we should. So it's 2 parts. One part we've had, so you'll be 65. Episode 65,
Okay.
We just started in December, right? So a lot of episodes, large network. So there's 2 pieces to this. One, I want some value add for the people that come on beyond content. We give all the content away. So I feel like this is worth people's time, not necessarily because of our platform size, right? More along the lines of like, we do all this content. I'll send you access to all the clips. Use it however you want. Get your story out there. You never know. The other side of it is people are asking for intros all the time that have come on the podcast. So my most avid listeners were on the podcast, right? So I've realized like my core listeners, not necessarily all of them, but a good group size of my listeners are the people that have been on. And so they will text me randomly like, hey, can you introduce me to Alyssa? I've got this event idea, right? Like it's going to happen. Like we had a guy that has a gym. He got his first out-of-state client because of this podcast, right?
Cool.
It's like, hey, can you connect me with so-and-so? Saw the podcast. So this networking is happening naturally, or they just want to know. And I don't even know why. Like Connor's texts me like for 2 or 3 people that have been on the podcast. I have no idea why he wanted to talk to him. Who knows? But I sent him the info. So I think there's an opportunity for networking, right? Everybody's goal, everybody that comes on here is really focused on growth or building something, or they've already built something, right? So the goals are all really similar. They're just all in different niches. And I've not interviewed anyone in the same realm. On episode 64, we have not interviewed anybody in the same industry yet. And that's my goal, is to go a year of not doing that. And the next year I can repeat everything. I don't know if we'll get there.
Wow.
It's getting hard.
That's cool.
It's getting difficult. And it's probably not going to happen. Worst case scenario, it'll just be a different version or different size of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like someone on the early startup side of construction versus someone that's wildly successful on construction.
Yeah.
I would consider those different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need that much differentiation. So first off is like, I should have an email list for everyone that's been a guest. Like I should be putting out content to them that is helpful, information about people that have come on, like, hey, go support this person that came on the podcast. They're launching this, right? So like if anybody's doing anything, I would love to create some type of newsletter that feels very supportive and like a community. And it may be just even advice and concepts that I'm putting out, or asking for help for this project. Second is we'd love to just do an annual event, for the podcast.
Yeah.
We think it'd be cool to do a once a year event, invite all the guests with a +2, +3, whatever, like have them bring other people as well. I have a lot of people that weren't local that have been on.
Okay.
Some of them would come in. I think some of them wouldn't. But you never know if it's a good enough event.
If it's good, yeah.
And so we go back and forth on like, why would we do this? What is the purpose of it? One of them is just, it feels good.
Yeah.
It just sounds really rewarding to be able to get everybody in the room and they all have a shared experience.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Why do you, like for you, like why is that rewarding? Like why would you want to do that?
For me, is if the event was put on well, I want to bring in speakers and I want a compound effect to build a network that gets into people. Like I want to grow the podcast so I can bring in guests that are even bigger to help the network of people that have been on my podcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So ultimately, I was talking to my team, they're like, who cares? Like locally, everybody knows about it. Like, who cares past that point? And I'm like, well, I want to get to a certain level to where I can bring in people that people really already know, like that are in that sphere, and then create network opportunities for them, right?
So it sounds like your why is more around the network of the guests.
Yes.
Because it sounds like you want to grow the podcast so that you can have a better network for the guests.
Right.
Like it all kind of
Correct.
comes back to
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And what's in that for you?
Access for me on network like that is exposure. So I think that just builds, for us, is credibility, trust. And then if it so happens they know someone that fits the bill of a product I have at the actual company, they send them over. I mean, we've gotten several great referrals and new clients closed from the podcast from guests that are not necessarily, the guests aren't becoming clients necessarily, but they are then curious and I just gave them something.
Right. It's
and they
reciprocal.
really like giving something back. And so I genuinely have always said my core part of being a missional entrepreneur is creating opportunity and value for others. And then I just believe it always comes back.
It always
comes back. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't like have a number for it or like a goal for it at all. And honestly, I kind of don't want one.
Yeah.
Like I don't want an outcome goal for us. I want an outcome goal for this group because I believe that'll multiply into something we don't even understand someday. Right.
Yeah. The goodwill that comes back and just the things, opportunities, like you can't even always trace it back to bringing people together or like creating a network. But there's so many things like opportunities where I'm like, I know that has only happened because I gather people.
Yep.
Like I can't exactly tell you, every detail.
I think it would be so different to have every one of those people in the same room that I spent an hour doing this with, right?
And think about like, you could do so much like prep and strategy once you know who's going to be there. Like you're the guy that's like, I know this, you were talking about this, you got to meet this person. Like you're in there working the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say this has happened.
And one more piece I want to throw in. One more piece I want to throw in is I would like to figure out how to spend the money to bring in a legit speaker. I would like to bring in someone that is somewhat known or would be respected that could come in and add a lot of value to this group, right? And so that's the other piece where I want it to be attractive enough to where not only are they going to get this network experience, but they're going to get access to something they've never had access to.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's a fireside chat and I'm chatting with this person that they want access to or a couple of them, right? You could do like something local that's as big as Freddie's CEO or Jeff Turner or, something that could build up, and then someone that's obviously not, that could be from around here or somewhere else that is.
So you're thinking like a multi-hour kind of like midday experience.
Yeah. I'm thinking like a dinner, like a 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. thing.
Okay. Like a night thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a night thing. Not like
I was imagining a party.
Yeah.
So,
that is kind of what I want.
Okay.
That creates an opportunity for networking, or strategically we put them all at certain tables.
Yeah.
Based on their interests and where they're at and what they're doing. We
Yeah.
could do assigned
Oh, yeah.
seating, right?
Assigned
that way they
seating
get
is
more
a
out of it.
requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know. Maybe that's a terrible idea. Maybe it should just be a.
It's a good start. Okay, so if this happened, like the version that you're thinking of right now happened, let's say it was 2 nights ago, and your buddy or someone, a guest, calls you up and is like, "You won't believe this." What would they have to tell you for you to be like, "That was worth it"?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great question. It would be, "You won't believe this. I talked to so and so at this event. They know this guy, and I get this." Now, finally, or I finally figured out how to accomplish this because of that connection. So,
Like
100%,
solved a problem.
They solved a problem. They created opportunity, right? Or they got a value out of that, or they provided value to someone and they felt really good about it. Either direction, they could call me and say, "Dude, just so you know, super cool. This guy came in. I was able to help him with this, and man, I wish I had someone that would have told me that, right? 10 years ago."
Yeah.
So that'd be the ideal situation. And then I think at the end of it would be like some moment or some experience that they want to have. And that's why it's like it's like, how do you bring in, which we're not, and we can't. But like, if you bring Gary Vee to a private event, that's a small event, right? How much more dynamic could that experience be for everyone in the room? They could actually maybe even get a live Q&A and actually get some type of like experience with that person.
Yeah. Is that why you want to?
Isn't me.
Is that why you want to bring someone in, because it is still kind of the essence of opportunity?
That's why. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think it's just those type of events. I hate them, but I love the idea. I want to go to an event that's only a few hundred people.
Sure.
Right. That has someone like that type of influence and that type of insight that would actually literally just hang out and be a part of the group and then speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I want that dynamic of they're
just there
and they're going to talk, but they're just one of the people. Right.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple of them, right? Because that I think you could do that strategically.
Yeah.
And have a couple different people, rapid fire network opportunities, whatever. That would build some type of like thing that they all look forward to next year. They can't wait to come next year.
Yeah. Because to make those kind of events good, you have to basically just think like, what is the opposite of all the networking things? And let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
like,
a good way to put it.
Because that's kind of how I have thought about it, is like, I go to some of them because I feel like, you need a network and you have to, I guess. But I'm like, if I think about a kind of a pro networking event, like you want opportunity. Like I hear that in everything you're saying. It's like you want your guests to have opportunities and you want to be the source of that, not necessarily for selfish reasons, but because it does help you, and it just you're doing a service for the group.
Nobody's altruistic. That's
No.
like a whole nother conversation,
Yeah.
right? 100%. I want something out of this. And even if if my joy is seeing you thrive, that's still inherently selfish in a sense, right? It just depends on your worldview. But if that makes me happy, and then I just am going to be obviously more respected and likable than the guy that seeing you fail makes him happy, he's probably not going to have a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's like different focuses. But that's good. Keep going.
The other thing too is like, I kind of think through this framework of like, you said, okay, if we could get Gary Vee, but we can't. But it's like, how do we make the impossible possible?
Yeah.
And I think that's also what makes events like, I would lead you away from the notable people in Wichita, because everyone really, because of the size of this town, has had experiences with even like the notable people.
Yeah.
And so a lens is, how can I put together an experience that no one person, no matter how rich they are, could make on their
That's
own?
a great perspective.
So it's like,
I love that.
how could we like go run the bases at Yankee Stadium before a conference and talk to the general manager? Like no one person, one could do that or would want to by themselves, right?
Right.
And so like that's a really good framework. And I love the challenge of like, who knows? Maybe Gary Vee would love to come to Wichita and talk to some entrepreneurs. Like maybe that's his jam, or he's thinking about smaller markets. We don't know.
Yeah.
And so I think
he's taking a lot of low profile gigs right now.
he is
I'm shocked.
And he's just like chatting with people and just like,
I saw him jump on a podcast that has like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is, that's pretty low for Gary Vee to make it.
yeah.
And who knows what that network was? I'm sure someone knew someone that, but yeah, no, I love that. And it's Gary Vee is just the easy example, right?
Sure.
I think there's so many other opportunities out there, but that is a great, if someone had all the money in the world and they still couldn't do it or wouldn't do it, this is probably another good way to think about it, would not do that experience. Because it needs to have a limit and a cap, I think, every time. And that would also be my goal, is that it's never like this, it's like, it's a tight knit thing.
Yeah.
There's so many spots. And
I heard someone say once recently, and I agree with this, is like people have big events when they have small networks. And I think there's some truth in that, because like we are just like taught to optimize for volume.
yeah.
And
The
I think
American
there's,
way.
and the marketing, the kind of back, like, let's just spray everyone with ads. And then not that that's like bad in every scenario, but I think when it comes to like high touch in-person experiences, I'm of the mind to optimize for less and not more. Not that you wouldn't invite all your guests, but then it's like maybe we limit to like one person that they can bring, because then they have to think very specifically
it's good.
about who that person is. Maybe it's their spouse, maybe it's not their spouse, right? Like you don't know. But I think less is more. And I think at the conferences I've gone to where people are like, I'm not going to pay for the ticket because there's not going to be 5,000 people there. And it's like, I want to pay for the ones that have 150 because you still can't talk to everyone.
Right.
And if it's curated well, you're going to have all the opportunity in the world that you need within that 150 people.
Yeah.
But people still just like the default is like more.
Yeah.
More people, more sales. And it's like, no, let's just do less, make it more exclusive and more expensive.
Yeah. Well, and I like the idea of back to the assigned seating. Also, I'm thinking of like my experience. What could I miss out on is, dang, I was looking for this person. I heard they were going to be here and I couldn't find them, even in a group of 150. That's pretty, like, you should probably also have a directory of where they're sitting. So, you can find anybody whenever you want.
Yeah.
It's
Or you just like print out the
access.
faces and put them on the seats and they can match them.
On each side. Like, that'd be one of those things I would appreciate at an event. Like, just make it really easy for me to, because I'm okay and I respect if you're here to see one person. I know for a fact that if you spend time with that one person, you're probably going to spend time with some other people.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be with other people as well.
It's kind of like the wedding, thing where like you show where everyone sits, and so you can go look and see.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Honestly, one of the things I thought about, because this would be kind of Killer Growth branded, right? Do you think?
Yeah. And we talked about like we could bring on. We have a lot of people I think would love to sponsor it, like locally.
There's so many
because we
brand
love the
deals
idea
you
of keeping it tight, making it very affordable. And then
because it's a gift, really.
Right.
Like the money comes on the back end of people doing stuff together, and even like. We don't have to. No, I'll avoid that business model for right now. But there's people I know where it's like you don't charge as much, and like you get sponsors that can actually offer real value. They're not just like names on.
Right.
I'm very against like marketing materials on tables and signs because it's just so conferencey. But I think there's really good ways that you can like add a ton of value to brands and companies that offer
things that everyone could use. Yeah, for sure.
And like, how can you do that? And that's awesome. And then it's a gift and you're not charging people like, when I said more expensive, like that's in some cases, but you're not charging like $500 to come to this.
Right.
Because a lot of that's subsidized and it's a gift of Killer Growth.
Yeah.
But I was imagining like a murder mystery because of the killer thing.
Yeah.
But like something that plays on the brand and is like super creative.
Yeah.
And then you could, like sometimes when they have like, you're given like a the murder mysteries, like you're given a character, and then you have like, what if you strategically like people that need to meet each other, like have characters that like have to interact with each other. I don't know. There's ways to play like a game or like make it exciting, but still like get the outcomes in terms of like, because you want people to talk. Like that's the whole thing.
Yep.
But you don't want to free for all that. Like you don't want to. No. I hate. You got to lazy provide hosting when you say.
Agreed.
Go.
Yeah, because there's just personalities that aren't going to step out.
And magic doesn't
extroverted
just
people
happen.
that can do that, right? I can go, if there's anyone in the room, no matter how awkward it is, if I want to talk to them, I will find a path to talk to them.
Totally. But a lot of people,
right?
They don't know who they want to talk to, and they don't know how to start that conversation.
Yep.
And so
it could be like a conversation starter for every name on the list as well. Like if you approach me cold, what's the first question I would like?
Yes.
Like that could be in the pamphlet too.
Yes.
That could be hilarious. Like, oh, hold on, wait. Yeah, you're all right. Here's my question.
And it's like some of them are really funny and like
Yeah. The tallest guy in the room is, how tall am I?
Yeah.
Make sure and ask that. No one ever asks that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I just am growing more and more like wary of this like serendipity mindset of like networking is all about like opening up this space and letting people network and just hope that there's some serendipity and some alignment where you sit with next to the person that you happen to be your next client. I think that's just lazy. And I think that's true when you have people over to your house, like from the smallest of gatherings to the biggest of gatherings, like people just get lazy and they're like, oh, people will find their people. And they might, but they probably won't. And then you're like, well, why didn't you go talk to this person? Like, I knew you guys would hit off. It's like, well, I didn't know. Like, it was like, you did seat us together or like.
I mean, a lot of that, if you don't know everyone in the room, that's pretty hard to do, right? That's hard to pull off if you don't know who's in the room. So how can you accomplish that? How can you create opportunity like that for people you don't know?
So I think that the internet has so much to offer you. And I have a research agent that like could research people.
That's a good answer.
Or you can like hire someone for, $20 an hour to like go, like their whole job before an event is like give you a dossier on every single person.
Wow.
Like that's the extent that I would go to understand who's going to be in the room.
That's like what high-end restaurants do, right? Like they try and understand that person.
Yeah. Have you read Unreasonable Hospitality? Okay. They don't talk about like a dossier, but like their most like repeat clients, they know like a lot about them. And to the extent where they like know where they park and they go and pay their meter in the middle of their meal. They know their son's allergies and it's like stuff like that. Like it's our job as hosts to know the people that are coming in our room. You can also send like, people don't do surveys, but you could try to like get information from them pre-event.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like pre an event.
You could also like use AI to like schedule have an agent have a scheduled like 15-minute call and be like, we're just going to go through a few questions. And then you have that data.
Here's some event prep. We want to get the most out of the event.
Yeah. And people would take like a 15-minute call. I don't like surveys. So like I probably wouldn't. I'm really bad at like filling stuff out. Like if I have to go like type it. But if I can just like chat, great. Yeah. So I think it's with technology where it is now, like it's kind of there's still an excuse there if you don't feel like you can understand who's going to be in your room.
To Norris's point is think small at the beginning. And you just brought up a lot of good points where we could do this at a much smaller level. It's not some well-known speaker for the first time with the goal of the second event. First event's figuring out the format, right? Like build out a format to your point of like, if there's this game and we build out these amazing directories and we orchestrate a group of, let's say it's 200 people max, you won't have. So I think it's 100 max probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, how could you cater that to an event, an experience where everybody's just like, that was just pleasant. Like,
I love that.
Like I enjoyed that. Like that should probably be goal number one. It's just like, how can you just create an experience that's not too long, not too short.
Yeah.
But you think through every aspect of it where everybody can be comfortable.
Unforgettable, unrepeatable, and unexpected.
That's good.
That's the filter.
Yeah.
And there's ways to do that without spending exorbitant amount of money.
Right. Yeah.
I just also think that's a huge thing. Like, we have to have a $50K event budget. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah. I've already had people on the podcast that said they would donate all of the meat. They would provide all the drinks. They would, provide a space. Like, so I think the opportunity there between the existing network is already there. Like, totally. I have an event person.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, there's literally, I think, like, within everyone I've interviewed, like, everything is there to do something. We need to interview a print shop. That's the one. She's got to come on, Robin. We've tried. We had to cancel. Yeah. She was. She's going to come on at some point, but yeah, that's really good.
Get all the people that you need in your network,
right?
And then your network helps you make things together. For them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they want it.
Because that's their sponsorship.
Yeah.
I think everyone I've talked to, I've just tossed it out softly. I think everyone gets excited because they get to meet people they've listened to that they really liked, and that's what I get a lot of. Like, someone will listen to this and go, "That Alyssa girl's cool. Like, that's a good. I like what she's doing," and or they'll have some question about it. But they'll experience you and get to know you, right? Over and
it will spark an idea. Like, I've listened to ones that you've done, and I'm like, oh, I've known Connor, but I should like maybe ask him about this one thing he talked about. Or Ted.
Yeah.
I listened to his, and I was like, oh, this is an idea. I should run by him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's even for people that you kind of already know, when you hear them talking about different things or different perspectives, like it gives you pings or like ideas. And that's the other thing is like, how do you, in a space like that, how do you give space for creativity? Because I think also so much of the time with networking is like these very like forced interactions where it's like you get 10 minutes in this little breakout to like talk about this stuff. But that's like, it's just such a dance, right? How do you give space for creativity and how do you not make it 25 hours?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Those like forced workshops, I've always been really insecure about and uncomfortable. I was mostly homeschooled, so I think just anything that felt like a classroom setting was foreign to me.
Yeah.
Within itself. But I've been in ones that are really fun and clearly defined. Like the Nexus, the successor.
The alumni one.
The alumni meeting that I was at.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool concept because you had people to lead the table. You had advised pre-submitted questions. Like that made it a little easier to just go through the reps and you're not worried about trying to figure out how to get everybody to talk and what are they going through. And totally. On the one more question on the format idea, because you've had a lot of really good ideas. No speaker. It's just the access is people I've had or myself for a first like guinea pig, figure out more of the format. What would that look like to you for this whole concept? Is it
no speaker? Yeah, I think in that sense, like I would actually kind of steer you away from a speaker to begin with, because I think that's an expected format. So if you want to go through the lens of unexpected, it's like, then you start getting into the experiential realm of like a murder mystery dinner or like a really where there is like an experience to have like a something you're learning together. Like let's say it's a chef and I've done one where it's like wine pairings and like farm to table, and it was like educational kind of in the context with other people. So like that kind of experience which like for 100 people, like you're not going to do that, but like that's an example. I love things where you're just having an external experience in context with like your conversation. And then there would be ways in a flow to where there'd be space for conversating outside of that. And so I think like then you bend towards experience.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just think on experience concepts.
And there's ways to do that that's like is just over a meal, but it's like guided.
Yeah, sure.
And I love movement within an event. So like, I love progressive experiences where, like a progressive dinner where you do like dessert or drinks and appetizers, and then you do dinner and then you do dessert all with different people. So you could do like a progressive dinner, but like in one space.
Yeah.
You could do and you can make those progressions whatever you want. And I also love themes. So like, once you decide on your why, then you could create a theme, and then that kind of gives way to like an experience idea.
Yeah.
So like,
good.
If the theme is like, we're all killer people because it's killer growth, then it's like, then you start thinking, what's killer? What could we have?
Yeah.
Could it be something with, could we do like a knife throwing? Could we do like learning how to cut? I don't know. Like then you start thinking about like those experiences. So that would be like my train of thought. Because if
that's
the
really
speaker, if you're going to do the speaker idea, you would want to make that also unexpected, like to where they're not like on a stage or like it's a very different format.
Yeah.
Like what if they're,
That's a good idea.
like, I love your idea of like them participating.
Yeah.
Like what if they're just like participating in it and there is maybe some way that they get to share something, but it's not like in just like a chat with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's tons of brainstorming around that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting.
But I would force you to make a decision on like a very clear why first.
Yes.
And you kind of have that. Like we just need to like
define it
better, a little into a
Yeah,
phrase.
Into a phrase. It needs to be like one sentence.
We love phrases.
Okay. Can it be a paragraph? Or does it need to be a sentence?
I would say a sentence because a paragraph you can fit lots of whys
Right.
into.
That's fair. Yeah, that's good.
Could you say it in one word? Like then that's kind of another like next level litmus test,
That's really good.
which is really hard.
No kidding. I mean, opportunities.
Yeah,
the word that
that's your
obviously
word.
hits every time, and then it's like creating opportunity and value for others is my mission.
Is your
statement.
mission, yeah.
And so it kind of feels like that. And then
So
it's
then
like,
why
which
do
one do I pick? Opportunity
or
or value.
Yeah. And like your first one could be one and the next one could be the next.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, like you don't have to. And then the speaker thing, it's like, I always say like, well, do you want to educate your audience? Because that's what your why is gearing towards.
Yeah.
But you want to give them opportunity to be in the same room with that cool person.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like, these are all amazing people that have been here. And like, you're giving them, anyway.
Yeah. A formatted, structured, like, this is like such a terrible podcast in the sense of what goes into this podcast and the format, and there isn't, right? The script or the lined up. I haven't used one of my questions I put in for you. Not one, right? So it's like that organic side part of me also wants to replicate that ease because everyone that comes on forgets there's a mic, right? That's the goal.
Yeah, we're just like chatting.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And so that's the format. That's the one we've created. And so like in an event space, that's where everything you keep saying, my head keeps going there too. I'm like, oh, I want them to forget they're at an event.
Yeah.
How do I get them to forget they're at an event that they're going to feel socially weird or have to get out of their comfort zone or...
Which is so funny because the irony of that is like the more structure and planning that happens behind the scenes, the more they can feel like that.
Yeah, I believe that. I think it's the prep is opposite.
Yeah.
You want the same outcome, but like what goes into that is completely different.
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Which is why Alyssa exists.
Yeah. Which is why I exist. Thank you. Yes.
More than that, but no, that's fun. Well, you're obviously good at this, and I can see your brain. Like you're probably going to be driving.
I'm gonna voice message you all my other ideas.
That's literally what I was thinking. You're gonna have like 20 other ideas, and we're talking about like a February, like a downtime, like a February end of January, February time.
Love
the idea, so it's enough time to build and prep, and so yeah. You're gonna
my ideas are already coming.
I know. I'll just filter it in. And I do think, to Norse's point, like we should just like ship one. Like just
the first one's not gonna be everything you want more.
No.
And you might come to find out that the first version actually achieves more of what you want than like the ideal version.
Yeah. That's really good too. Yeah.
Because remember, these are just humans that like want connection and opportunity and to do fun stuff that lights them up with other humans. Like that's when it comes down to it.
Yeah, if the first event was free,
yeah,
and then you can test all the stuff, it'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a bad idea to have free events, but it's invite only?
No,
that's a question.
I don't think so.
I don't think they should have any skin in the game to...
I think that concept is for events that are not going to be good. I think there's a lot of times where people put free and then...
The assumption is if it's free, it's going to be a bad event.
The assumption is like, I'm going to... Like, you as the attendee, like, have a vibe, whether you realize it or not, on like this free event. Is it free in dollars, but it's not free in other ways? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the value is so clear and like, you know why it's free. And so like, people still are going to, like, Deal Makers is free, but like we get so many people every time because the value is in the content and the people that they're going to meet. They don't want to miss it because it's quarterly. And so we make those free and we still get like 70% of our RSVPs show up.
Yeah.
And so I think that like when you get a free event and you're like, there was no intentionality. There's no discussion. There's no like, because also we didn't talk about this, but how you invite people really, really matters.
Yeah. How do you invite people?
It's different every time, but like you think about an event from like the moment someone hears about the event to like their feelings a month later. Like that's the arc of the event. And so like the invite, like if you got a free event, but you got a box of the mail that had glitter and you opened it and there was a knife in it, it's like, well, come to our murder mystery. It's like, I'm going to go.
Right. Bring this knife.
Bring this knife with you because you might need to use it.
Oh, God.
And it has your name written on it. And it's like, bring whoever you might want to kill. I don't know. Whatever. This is getting out of hand. But
bring whoever you want to help kill it.
Yeah. Who would be your accomplice? Would you not go to that?
Oh, I would go.
Even if it's free.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's all about the prep and the value and what you're
That's good.
seeding in people's brains. And I'm also big on like kind of some peaks, like to keep the interest. So if you invite someone a month out or 2 months out, they have that initial amazing experience. You get some good content from people undoing those boxes, blah, blah, blah. And then like we have a cadence to where we're kind of peaking. We're prepping things. We're not saying reminder. We're saying like, here's a sneak. Here's a sneak. You get a card in the mail of someone else who's going to be there and you get their bio. You're like, oh, this person's going to be there. You might get to sit next to them.
Interesting.
Anyway, so there's just so many ways where like, there's so much anticipation and there's so much perceived missed opportunity if I don't go.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter if it's free.
Yeah. Well, and limiting the spots I think is always, I like the idea of almost having a limit to entries.
Yeah. Well, they
just
know.
'cause you know everyone's not going to RSVP.
Yeah.
So
but they also
like,
know not like it's invite only because not everyone's getting this box to invite them.
Sure. Oh,
Or
yeah.
this,
Right.
Anything in the mail is kind of novel these days. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
that already
Putting
just
it in
tells
the
them
mail.
like, this is exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good.
And so like that's part of the elements of belonging of an event. We could talk for hours and I will wind down. But like part of it is like recognition and mattering. So you need your people to feel like they're recognized. That's 2 of 6, but like then that they matter. And so if you do that from like that whole arc, they feel like this room is not the same if I'm not in it. And like I matter.
And I think the attendance, that's exactly what I've been thinking. I didn't have the words for it. I think the attendance will be high because it feels like something. Like they feel like they were already a part of it. They feel like they get access because of something they already did. And it was fun to get access in the first place, especially those who've never been on a podcast that have come on. It's
For
like,
sure.
oh, I've got a private invite to this and explaining who's getting invited. I think
they're
adds
like,
value.
oh, I'm
yeah.
part of this.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I got to be on this podcast. And then like that elevates you also.
How so?
Because like you're the space where they feel like they matter and they're elevated and
interesting.
belonging. And they're like, I'm one of these like amazing people. And Sam only brings on amazing people.
Yeah.
And I was chosen for that. And like,
Minus Teddy.
yeah. Ted, you know who you are. But anyway, like that elevates you because you're creating that mattering.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's interesting. And builds that trust factor even more, which is kind of the bigger deal.
Totally.
Love it.
Totally.
It's really good. That was a good workshop.
That was great.
I think that pulled out the best versions of your services.
Okay,
you broke down, essentially the initial model, you tore it apart. If you think about the first thing I said
Yeah.
and the value to where it ended, it's completely different
Yeah.
than what I was thinking.
That's true.
But it's resonating still with me where I'm like, that is what I want. I want it to be different. I want this experience to be memorable and more importantly, opportunity and value for them. And so I need to obsess on that, right? Like the obsession should be on the opportunity and value, and structure and creativity into the meeting will also create that. Because I was thinking a lot less about that.
Oh yeah. And that's what really matters.
Like the food can suck. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's going to be, a good speaker.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I love working with creative entrepreneurs because like you so quickly were able to expand your mind to be like, oh wait, no, this does align more with what I
I'm just
really
wrong
want.
so much. It's gotten really easy. Norris, amen. It gets easier the more wrong you are. No, that makes sense. You're talking to someone who's like, that seems weird.
Yeah, like are people gonna like that?
Yeah, I'm not willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. Where can they follow you?
Yeah. LinkedIn is where I'm most active, Alyssa McGinn. You can check out my website, Behind Closed Doors. I would say that's my most, LinkedIn is really where you're going to find me in the most content.
Yeah. Is there any newsletter you're going to put up or podcasts coming in the future?
So right now I'm just making the rounds on guesting on podcasts. So you'll see me posting a lot of other people's podcasts. I'm thinking, I write Substack. That's where you should find me.
Yeah.
I need to get used to talking about that.
Yeah.
Substack is Behind Closed Doors. I put out a new article every week talking about these kind of things.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks so much for coming on. Here's the awkward handshake around the mics. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.